U.S. Senate candidate Kamala Harris is on campus tonight trying to sway voters. We'll take you live to the rally.
And Bernie Sanders made a stop in L.A. today. We'll have more on the proposition he's campaigning for.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
I voted. Quick, easy, and painless.
With the election hours away, early voters are coming out in record numbers to cast their ballots. Good evening, I'm Etienne Smith.
And I'm Rachel Frayne. Annenberg Media's Brad Stryker is live at the LA County Registrar's office, where early voting is just wrapping up. Brad? Thousands of people braved wait times of more than an hour today to cast their ballots on the last day of early voting in LA County. Annenberg Media's Mark Salinger talked with some voters about why they decided the wait was worth it.
For every ballot cast,
This is an election where every vote counts.
there's a reason behind the vote.
We all have a right to vote, and I take advantage of that.
The day before Election Day looked a lot like Election Day at the County Registrar's office in Norwalk. It was the only place in the county thousands could cast their ballots to take advantage of the last day of early voting.
Let's get it over with. It's been too long. What, like 2 years we've been waiting for this to be over?
More than 17,000 people voted in Los Angeles County on the last weekend before Election Day. Around the country, more than 40 million people have already cast their ballots. Some voters are coming here to drop off their ballots in this secure box, while others are waiting a couple of hours behind me to go to the voting booth and vote in person. Regardless, everyone's goal is the same: to have their voices heard and get that I voted sticker.
There's definitely some excitement and anticipation.
Lori Ellie waited more than an hour to vote.
So this is your number?
But she says the wait was worth it.
I voted for the direction of America.
With only 5 early voting locations in Los Angeles County over the weekend, wait times were often long. On Election Day, that might not be the case.
We have over 4,500 locations, polling locations open to service the public. So you're probably looking at less long lines.
For some, waiting a little longer today may have been worth it.
I voted. I'm happy. It's over. What do we say? Free at last. I need a vodka.
Because waiting even one more day was too much. For Annenberg Media, I'm Mark Salinger.
As voters prepare to go to the polls tomorrow, the candidates are making their final stops on the campaign trail.
Let's toss it to our local anchor, Amy McMillan, to find out what the candidates are doing the last day before the election.
That's right, Rachel. The candidates and their surrogates wrapped up campaigning today. President Obama spoke at a rally in New Hampshire where he urged people to vote for the first female president of the United States.
You can elect a leader who spent her life trying to move this country forward. Our first female president. A president who will be an example for our daughters and for our sons and send a signal there is no glass ceiling. Anybody who works hard and cares enough can achieve.
Clinton campaigned in Michigan just one day after FBI Director James Comey announced that Clinton still should not face criminal charges based on the latest group of emails. Michigan is still up for grabs, even though Democrats took the state in 2012.
And this has to be our mission together. Doing all we can to help every American, and especially every young American and every child in America, to have the chance to live up to their God-given potential. I will wake up every single day in the White House trying to figure out what I can do to make that a reality for you.
From his rally in North Carolina, Donald Trump used his campaign slogan to appeal to his voters and explain why he should be the next president.
If we win tomorrow, we will be able to make America wealthy again, to make America strong again, to make America safe again, and to make America great again.
So all of these campaign events were in swing states where the races between Clinton and Trump are tight. This year, there's as many as 15 swing states up for grabs in the presidential election. Swing states change in every election as demographics shift. They have the power to sway elections, so they're always an important topic of discussion. So here's a map of the 2016 swing states. Florida is an example of the role a swing state can play. As you can see, it has 29 electoral college delegates. That's the most of any swing state. So if Clinton wins Florida, along with all the states that Democrats usually win, she will reach the 270 electoral college votes necessary to secure the presidency. It will be almost impossible for Trump to win without winning Florida. Florida is also a swing state where the growing Latino vote is becoming more important. This growing demographic is an advantage to Democrats. It can traditionally make more Republican states like Arizona more competitive for Democrats. In just about 9 hours, the first polls will open on the East Coast. Polls in California will open at 7 a.m. Rachel and Etienne, back to you.
Californians will also make a big decision on who should fill the state's open U.S. Senate seat. Annenberg Media's Lauren Day is at a rally here on campus for Attorney General Kamala Harris with more on why this Senate race is so historic.
And we'll take a look at the number of USC students that came out here to support Kamala Harris. There were hundreds of students here. You can see they're quickly starting to leave. The event just wrapped up as Kamala Harris just finished her speech, but hundreds of people were here. It was a packed house. Now, like you said, this race for the California Senate seat is extremely unique. This is the first time in nearly a quarter of a century that a U.S. Senate seat is up for grabs. And also, both candidates are Democrats. Now, Attorney General Kamala Harris is running up against Orange County Representative Loretta Sanchez. Now, Attorney General Kamala Harris did win the California Senate primary, and several polls do show that she is ahead of Loretta Sanchez, but she was still here today encouraging USC students to get out, do everything they can on social media and vote. Now, regardless of who wins, both Kamala Harris and Loretta Sanchez will make history tomorrow. If Kamala Harris wins, she will be the first female, Asian American, and African American in the U.S. Senate. And if Loretta Sanchez wins, well, she will be the first Latina in the U.S. Senate. Live from USC, Lauren Day, Annenberg Media.
Thanks, Lauren. Harris's opponent, Representative Loretta Sanchez, has been making last-minute stops, too. She held a Get Out the Vote rally near Union Station today, making her case to voters.
I know where the resources are to fix our water and our immigration and our job and our education, all of these issues in our nation's capital. I believe I'm the best qualified and the most experienced, and my colleagues believe the same thing.
After speaking to supporters at Union Station, Sanchez also held a rally in downtown Anaheim. The U.S. Senate candidate has continued to campaign, but polls on the eve of the election night show she is trailing Kamala Harris in the race.
Supporters of Prop 61 rallied in downtown LA today, along with Senator Bernie Sanders. Annenberg Media's Wani Lopez reports on how the prop could change drug prices.
I want to say I'm so honored to introduce a man for our times, the man of the hour, Senator Bernie Sanders.
Californians aren't just voting for a new president tomorrow. They are also voting for 17 propositions, including Proposition 61, also known as the California Drug Price Relief Act. Senator Bernie Sanders took the stage to show his support for the proposition.
What you are doing here has true national significance. This could be the shot heard round the world in taking on the big money interest in healthcare.
The VA historically pays less for drugs than most government agencies. Proposition 61 seeks to bring California those same prices. Supporters say it will help keep pharmaceutical companies in check.
Prop 61 campaign because as a registered nurse and I work in pediatrics and as a veteran, we need to stop the greed of the pharmaceutical companies that make billions of dollars in profit every year while my patients can't afford to pay for their medications.
Supporters of the proposition say that they are in favor of it because it will require state agencies to pay no more than the VA pays for their prescription drugs. People against the proposition say that they are against it because it will raise drug prices, it will limit the access of drugs for those in need, it will create lawsuits that taxpayers will have to pay for, and it will affect veterans because it will increase prescription costs.
While it sounds great and people are concerned about drug prices, Proposition 61 is not a good solution.
A recent poll shows that the voters are equally divided on the proposition. For Annenberg Media, I'm Wani Lopez.
USC students are making voting less confusing with a web app they created called Ballot View. Today we have two of the creators in studio to tell us more. Thanks for joining us, Michael and Alex. So how will Ballot View help voters tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. So our main mission here is to improve civic engagement among millennials. And with our web app, you can basically go on the website, you just enter your address, and you'll be able to first preview your ballot with all the candidates and measures, and then on the same screen, also learn about all those candidates and measures with nonpartisan content, and then save a receipt, take it with you to the polls.
So how did you guys get the idea to come up with this app?
Yeah, so there was a competition called the Futurethon back in August. It was a civic engagement themed hackathon. A bunch of teams got together and came up with product ideas, and ours won, and we won a fellowship with the Global Shapers, which is an initiative by the World Economic Forum to build and launch in 8 weeks.
Okay, and so your main goal is to increase civic engagement with millennials, and how do you think that this web app will help people do that?
Yeah, so by preparing to vote, we make the process really easy for you. I think a lot of the challenge and a lot of disengagement we see in politics today is because the voting process is confusing. There's a lot on the ballot, and we only really hear about those presidential candidates. We're making it really simple for everyone to learn about everything on the ballot, all the way down the ballot, the judges, the senators, individual city measures. It's all on our platform and readily available for anyone to use. And we've already seen some traction. Upworthy posted about us, and we've got a couple 100,000 views on that video, and we're really trying to make a difference this election.
Okay, well, thank you so much, both of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And join us tomorrow night for our Vote 2016 live election coverage. Our reporters will be live in viewing parties across LA, and we'll have a special edition of ATVN from 6 to 6:30. Reporting starts on Facebook Live at 5 p.m. and USCAnnenbergmedia.com.
USC has a new lawsuit on its hands. Find out who filed and why next.
Real estate heir Robert Durst was in court today to answer murder charges against him. We'll take you inside the courtroom.
And middle school students cast their votes for president in a mock election. See which candidate came out on top.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
And the last day of early voting has just ended in LA County. Annenberg Media's Brad Stryker is live at the LA County Registrar's office where early voting is just wrapping up. Brad?
All right, thanks guys, and I am here in Norwalk, right outside of the LA County Registrar's office, where just moments ago there were dozens of people in this walkway right here getting ready to take advantage of one last chance to cast an early vote before tomorrow's election. Now, like I said, that was just moments ago, there were more than a dozen people here, but all because the LA County Registrar's office did close at 5 p.m. today. So everyone who you saw here, just a few of last-minute stragglers who were waiting to once again get those early votes in. Now, the Registrar's office is going to open back up tomorrow morning, bright and early at 7 a.m. So definitely no excuse to not be able to get out and cast your vote tomorrow morning. But for now, live right here in Norwalk for Annenberg Media, I'm Brad Stryker.
Thanks, Brad. Robert Durst appeared in Los Angeles airport court today. The wealthy New York real estate heir pleaded not guilty to charges stemming from the murder of his friend Susan Berman 16 years ago. 73-year-old Durst appealed in court wearing a neck brace and sitting in a wheelchair. Investigators believe that Durst killed Berman because she had information about the death of his first wife. The Durst case brought back into the public eye after he appeared to admit guilty in his HBO's docuseries The Jinx.
Bob is not guilty. He did not kill Susan Berman. He doesn't know who did, and he's eager to go to trial. Thank you all for being here.
Durst is due back in court on February 15th for a pretrial hearing.
A former USC professor is suing the university, claiming she was a victim of discrimination. Former Roski School of Art and Design professor A.L. Steiner says Dean Erica Mole harassed her for her sexual orientation before firing her last year. In her complaint, Steiner said the case is important to every college student and faculty member as they look to institutions like USC as models of tolerance and progress, especially with respect to the rights of LGBT individuals. The university has yet to respond to the suit.
Harvard's cross-country team is coming under fire. The school's newspaper reported that the team had spreadsheets ranking female cross-country athletes based on physical appearance. We spoke to some Harvard students for reaction to this news.
I think it was a mixture of surprise, but also of just a general sentiment of a lot of outrage.
I generally get the sense that people think that like if there was something like this that had happened, it would be more likely to happen among, I guess, the athletic teams than somewhere else.
Last month, the paper also reported that the men's soccer team had done the same thing in 2012. Harvard's athletics department officially canceled the men's soccer season, and the team issued an apology in the school paper. Well, Rachel, I don't know what I'm doing this weekend, but I'm sure the weather's about to be great.
It probably will be. Let's send it over to Lauren to check it out.
Thank you, guys. Yes, those warm temperatures just keep on coming, and we've been seeing nice sunny skies throughout the day that drop down a little lower in the evening. So let's check that out right now. We see temperatures in the 60s and humidity is high at 78%. Moving on to your SoCal temperatures for tomorrow, we can see in the Inland Empire we're seeing temperatures in the 90s, as well as 88 in San Bernardino and 69 up in Big Bear. As we move over to the coast, you can see that it's 77 in Malibu, 88 up in the valley, and 93 in Northridge. Bringing it back to the USC area, you can see that it's going to be 88 degrees tomorrow, 84 in Long Beach, and 80 back in LAX. Taking a look at your 5-day forecast, we can see temperatures starting out in the 80s, moving up to the 90s, and back down to the low 80s for your weekend. And for those of you heading to Washington, make sure to bundle up because the temperatures are actually going to be kind of cold.
All right, thanks so much, Lauren. They may be under 18, but they want to get their voices heard too. Kevin McAllister takes us back to school to show us how the next generation of voters is preparing for tomorrow.
Across LA, thousands of residents have punched their ballots in the days before the election. But at Woodland Hills Academy, they're voting about 5 years early.
It was cool, like the feeling, it's not really like voting for real, but like it was cool to get to see how the process like happens.
And the 500 plus middle schoolers who voted saw that process of choosing a president during those few minutes when they were changing classes.
Today is a day that only happens once every 4 years. Every vote counts and it will make a difference in like what the outcome is.
And while this mock election was set up to teach students about civic engagement, the students thought it was the adults who could learn a little something.
They look at the people that they like more, not really their ideas or what they do.
At the end of the day, nearly 90% of students voted for Hillary Clinton, but administrators say it's not the outcome that matters.
These are formative years for young people, and they understand what is happening in this world. They're asking to be more engaged.
When you're in middle school, the president you have impacts your life, especially when you're younger like this, it impacts your future.
And that's a lesson best learned sooner rather than later. For Annenberg Media, I'm Kevin McAllister.
With the election tomorrow, is anyone paying attention to sports?
I absolutely am. Let's toss it over to our sports anchor, Alexa Palermo.
Thank you so much, you guys. Yes, sports are blowing up, and the USC football team is gearing up to take on Washington. And Savannah Levin joins me in studio. Sports are next.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
French fries. Finding best potatoes.
No!
Russet. Fingerling. Yukon Gold.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
An upset may be brewing for the Trojans as they travel to Seattle to take on undefeated powerhouse Washington. The team needs a win this weekend to keep their Pac-12 championship hopes alive. The Trojans are coming off a statement win against Oregon, where running back Ronald Jones tied a school single-game rushing record with 4 rushing touchdowns. The last USC running back to score that many touchdowns in a single game was All-American Lendell White.
He's becoming a complete running back, and that's where I'm most proud of him. I hold my breath every time he touches it because I know there's a chance it could go all the way. And between himself and a very effective offensive line, they're doing some special things right now.
With College Game Day there to watch all the action, it sure will be an exciting game. The Trojans are off to the national championship as second seed, where they battle Eastern Washington. The second seed ties the highest ranking in school history, which was originally set in 2007. Head coach Kadani McAlpine is happy that all of his team's hard work is paying off.
I'm excited about being in the number 2 seed. I think it rewards the team for the effort that they put in this year and the results that they were able to get on the field. Excited to get in, excited to finally know who we're going to play and start this journey.
Despite losing to UCLA last Friday, the women of Troy are ready to start in the NCAA tournament play. And I'm here with the talented Savannah Levin, who is just as excited as her coach to be in the playoffs. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So what was it like watching the selection show with your team?
It was so much fun. We were all together with coaches, with the staff, with the players. It's really fun because you don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of just nothing predictable, so it was really fun.
And so does being the second seed help you in any way in the tournament? What are you seeing going in?
Definitely. Throughout the whole season, you're kind of hoping for that 1 or 2 seed. Most of all, I think for us, we get to play at home for a few games if we continue to win, and I think that's the best part.
And so you got to host a playoff game last year at the tournament, so what is it going to be like to do that again?
It'll be awesome. Last year was very exciting. We went down and were able to come back and ended in PKs, which we won, which we had lost in the previous year, and I think it'll be really fun.
And so is your mentality for postseason play any different than it is for regular season play?
It's a little bit different in the sense that we know if we lose, we're done for the year, and for me and the other seniors, we're done. So that part is different, but I think we're going to come the same way we come to every game, with a strong mentality and just come to compete and win.
How far do you think you guys are going to go this time around?
I'm optimistic. I think our team works really, really hard, and if we take it one game at a time and do what we're supposed to do, I think we could be there in the end.
And you mentioned being a senior. What was it like to have senior night at the Step Up Center?
It was incredible. There were so many people. Field was perfect. The grass was so nice, and having my family there was amazing, and it was awesome.
And speaking of that heartbreaking loss, what are some of the things that you're looking to improve upon from that game as you go into some of the postseason play?
I think we gave it our best, and unfortunately, the goal that was scored against us was a great shot, and we couldn't come back from it. But I think that we worked really, really hard, and it was one of the few times in the season that we were down a goal from early in the game, and I think we're just going to have to come out and keep competing and do what we're supposed to do.
Well, that's great. I can't wait to see you guys play. Thank you so much for joining me. And you can catch Savannah and the rest of the women's soccer team at McAllister Field when they take on Eastern Washington for the first round of the playoffs.
Tommy Trojan looks a bit different now.
Stay tuned as we show you why our beloved mascot is covered.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple. Just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
It's already that time of year again. Tommy Trojan is being duct taped 2 weeks before USC goes head-to-head with the UCLA Bruins. Maintenance workers begin taping the statue earlier this morning. Vandalizing each other's mascots is a pre-rivalry game tradition. Taping up the statue is a precaution, so the statue doesn't get covered in paint by UCLA. The highly anticipated game will take place on November 19th at the Rose Bowl.
Hillary Clinton is showing up in Snapchat this week. The app now features political-themed lenses. Users can dress up with Clinton's hair and one of her signature pantsuits with a backdrop of the White House. Her digital team is also running a national geofilter ad that reads, "I'm with her." Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone here at Annenberg Media, I'm Etienne Smith.
And I'm Rachel Frayne. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.